The reason why I write these books is to independent and free the organizations and the agencies put in their box and try and treat it like everybody else that's disabled on the live on the enjoy my last few years on this planet.
Uncle Chris and the Magic Wheelchair, Chapter 1, Football in the Park. It was Friday afternoon. Uncle Chris always went to feed the ducks in the park with Marie. The sun was high in the clear blue sky, and the breeze carried the comforting aroma of freshly cut grass. He got to the park, where he saw his friends Freddy, Fletcher, and Ella playing a friendly football match. "Hey, Uncle Chris," shouted Ella. The three kids, Freddy, Fletcher, Ella, and Uncle Chris, were known affectionately as the gang. "Goal!" shouts the small crowd as Ella slams the ball into the back of the net. Ella scored the first goal and then the second one. Suddenly, Freddy powered in with his infamous left foot, swiftly followed by Fletcher's fancy footwork, which smashed the ball into the back of the net. Ella ran down the wing, went past one defender, past another, and then chipped the goalie. "Yay," she shouted. "I've scored my first hat trick." Freddy and Fletcher clapped for a great goal. The park buzzed with families and friends laughing and enjoying the sunshine. Fletcher, the gang's resident with a bundle of energy, zigged and zagged across the field. Fletcher teased, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me." His voice straining from laughter as he dodged and weaved past his friends, he was headed to the goalpost. Meanwhile, Ellie, the youngest of the three, but no less capable than any of them, gracefully tackled Fletcher. He ran another 5 yards before realizing he had lost the ball. "Watch out," he heard from behind, turning to see his little sister sprinting in the opposite direction, ball at her feet. "I'm as fast as lightning, and you can't catch me now." Freddy, the eldest on the wing, kept pace with the game and worked on his strategy. "Remember, it's not just about the moves. It's about thinking ahead, like in chess," he called out, trying to inspire creativity in his younger siblings' playing style. Uncle Chris was guiding and encouraging from his wheelchair. "Remember, it's not just about scoring. It's about having fun and doing your best for the team," he shouted, his voice brimming with affection and encouragement. At 44, Uncle Chris's life had taken him on quite a journey. Although he was in a wheelchair, he certainly wasn't confined in spirit. Uncle Chris's life story was a mosaic of hard times and triumphs. He was a living embodiment of adventure and perseverance. The kickabout progressed, and Uncle Chris instilled the spirit of cooperation, not competition, in the players. When Ellie scored goals, everyone celebrated with cheers and hugs. Fletcher's frequent and funny quips kept everyone in a good mood. Even when passes and shots went awry, cheering didn't stop. The move of the match went to Uncle Chris, an incredible maneuver that saw him block a goal from his wheelchair. "See," proclaimed Uncle Chris proudly. "It's all about the effort, whether running or rolling. You might be confined physically, but your mind is a free bird." He laughed heartily. Unfortunately, a voice disrupted their joy. A rare miskick from Ellie sent the ball towards the bushes, just on the edge of the playing field. There, the ball found itself under the foot of Jason Ward, a boy in the year above Freddy. Jason Ward was a known bully. "Football is no game for girls," he sneered. He began to dribble the ball and pointed at Ellie, teasing her by running with his arms stiffly by his side, with his hands turned out, trying to suggest she was dainty and petite. The gang fell silent, but Ellie, unfazed and noticing Jason's relatively poor football skills, approached. Freddy, concerned for his sister, started to make his way towards Ellie and Jason. Ellie saw her brother, but waved for him to stay put as she approached the bully. Freddy and Fletcher both turned to Uncle Chris, both with worried faces. Uncle Chris stared at Jason with a steely glare, his hand ready on his wheelchair's joystick to rush forward and intervene. "This is a game for boys and men," jeered Jason as Ellie stood before him, his eyes focused on keeping the ball between his feet. "Actually," said Ellie, her voice steady and calm, "football is a game for anyone who wants to play." Jason looked up, his eyes meeting Ellie's. It's about having fun. It's got nothing to do with being a girl or a boy. Jason looked surprised. Ellie stood composed, keeping her eyes on his. Whatever, said Jason, leaning into Ellie's face. Then he turned and pulled his leg back to kick the football over the park wall. His kick missed, the ball wasn't there, so Jason landed on the grass with a thud. Looking around, he saw the ball by Ellie's feet. She had skillfully tackled him when he leaned into her face. Whatever, he repeated, and he skulked away, hopefully with the desire to ruin people's fun gone from his mind. Ellie, that was brilliant, praised Uncle Chris, beaming with pride. You just showed us all how to stand up for ourselves with dignity and grace. You took the ball from right under his nose, roared Fletcher. The gang rallied around Ellie. She had diffused an unpleasant situation and made everybody proud. After the game, with red, sweaty faces and grass-stained knees, the gang gathered around Uncle Chris for wisdom. Life's like football, he said. You attack, you defend, but most of the time, try your best and work together, just like what we've done today. The air was starting to cool as the day began ending. Freddy, Fletcher, and Ellie, buoyed by Uncle Chris's encouragement, had another little surprise. Marie, Uncle Chris's dearest and most trusted carer, had some fun news she had to share. You're not going to believe this, guys, Marie said, her voice almost squeaking with amusement. My little labradoodle has found himself a girlfriend. The gang collectively gasped. I know, said Mary, her face beaming with a grin. He's been strutting around, proud as a peacock. The children erupted in giggles, the image of the love-struck pup adding a surprisingly heartwarming twist to their day. Uncle Chris and Marie invited Fletcher, Freddy, and Ellie back to Uncle Chris's bungalow for drinks and snacks. They passed by the duck pond, and Uncle Chris handed out bread. Oh, look, called Ellie, pointing excitedly at a mother duck with 6 ducklings. They're so cute, she sighed before turning to Marie and relived the hat trick of goals she scored today. The gang fed the ducks and a few sneaky squirrels and then went to Uncle Chris's bungalow. Freddy asked Uncle Chris if he could phone their mother to tell them where they were. Freddy, Fletcher, and Ellie played FIFA while Marie and Uncle Chris got drinks and snacks from the kitchen. You've all learned a lot, said Uncle Chris, seeing Freddy and Fletcher's score tied at 4-4. The winner plays me, said Ellie, and the winner of your game, Ellie, will challenge me for the title of King of FIFA, bellowed Uncle Chris. The games continued for a few hours, and Ella noticed her Uncle Chris looked tired. Ella says, Are you okay, Uncle Chris? You're usually in bed by now because of your disabilities. Thanks, Ella, replied Uncle Chris. It's been a long day. Yes, I'm feeling very tired. It's time for us to go home now. I think we should call Mum to come and pick us up, said Fletcher, drained. 10 minutes later, the doorbell rings, and the gang leaves with their mum. They say their goodbyes with a big hug for Uncle Chris. Uncle Chris took a well-earned break after his long day whilst Marie tidied up. Uncle Chris asked Marie, Can you please help me to bed? Marie hoisted Uncle Chris from his wheelchair into bed and switched on the news. She plugged the wheelchair into the plug socket to power it up for the morning. Storm Christoph is heading straight for us, announced Jenny on the 9 o'clock news. An unexpected storm front has surprised us all. Said the weather lady, expect strong winds with chances of lightning. Looks like it's going to be rough, says Marie. Glad I'm home and tucked up in bed, said Uncle Chris. Uncle Chris fell straight to sleep. The wind was howling, dustbins were blown over, dogs were barking, and thunder was rumbling. Suddenly, the bungalow was filled with a brilliant white light as lightning soared through the open window and smashed into Uncle Chris's wheelchair.
Hi, please like and subscribe and help me get my life back. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. To all the people that like and subscribe, thank you very much. It's much appreciated all the help that you are giving me.